Hey guys, what's up? It is the Mundo. We are here for the first ever wrestling podcast. We are going to do live on Nonstop Sport wrestling channel. I have in the call with me, I have Matt Rhoads.
Hello.
I have, hey guys, it's Jess.
Hey guys, it's
Uh,
Jess.
it's Jess. And we have Joe Disney.
Buy a Joe Disney T-shirt.
Exactly. We're going to run down, we're going to just talk about wrestling for about 20 minutes. We're just going to go through Raw, SmackDown, and TNA. We do have the results up with us. Um, Joe has Raw results, so we're going to talk about Raw first. Joe, if you just want to refresh the viewers of what results went down.
All right. Daniel Bryan was stripped of the WWE Championship. Dolph Ziggler defeated Dean Ambrose. Fandango defeated R-Truth. Brie Bella and the Funkadactyls defeated Layla, Alicia Fox, and Oksana. Rob Van Dam defeated Damian Sandow. The Miz versus Randy Orton went to a no contest. And the Usos defeated Tons of Funk. And the Real Americans to become number one contenders in the WWE Tag Team Championship. And Daniel Bryan defeated Roman Reigns via disqualification.
So quite a lot went on for the 3 hours of Raw this week. A lot of things. The first thing that, obviously, a few things that jumped out. The first one was Daniel Bryan. Obviously, was going to get stripped for the WWE title. What do you guys think? We'll start with Matt. What do you think of Daniel Bryan being stripped on Raw the night after the pay-per-view?
I think it was kind of dumb. I think they should have left him hold on to the title and just eventually take it off of him because that's what they're planning on doing rather than just strip him of it.
Jess?
Yeah, I felt as though they kind of made Daniel Bryan win it a little too early. Like I felt as though that even though I would have liked to have seen Daniel Bryan do it as a fan, like looking back at it from like looking at the wrestling point, it probably should have gone a few more months.
What do you think, Joe?
I just think that Daniel Bryan should have won that match. I thought Randy Orton should have won that match and kept the feud going and made it kind of better.
Yeah, I think the reason behind it, obviously, I read a lot of wrestling websites. The reason they wanted to, they took it off him and they took it off Randy Orton is because obviously the next pay-per-view is called Battleground. So obviously they want to build it up because there's two pay-per-views in 1 month. So really what they're trying to do is they're trying to get people to, because obviously it costs about $60 in the US.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, so
Plus that.
yeah, so that's what they're doing. You've got two pay-per-views. That's $120 in 1 month for two pay-per-views. They need to give people a reason to buy it. So I think that's the reason they're going to do it. It's like, all right, there's no champion. Someone's got to be a champion at the end of it. So I think that's why I think they've gone and done that. That's my point.
I also want to touch on the Ryan Armstrong or the referee that got fired.
Yeah.
Or supposedly got fired. I think that's all just a ploy. I really think he was really set up by Triple H to do what he did.
Yeah, especially on Raw when he turned around and said, "Oh, they've got us, Daniel."
It's the Vince Earl Hebner kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know if any of you
That's
guys.
That's Triple H's referee.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys think and want to touch on any more of that.
I think you guys said it all.
Cool. What about the shocking thing from the pay-per-view? I know moving slightly off topic. What about Ryback? Going with Paul Heyman?
Ryback is a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah. Good move?
Very good.
I think it's better than Bully Ryback.
Yeah,
I
as
think
long as he's not bullying little children in the back, that's fine with me.
I think it's a very good move as well because Ryback's not very good on the mic. Where giving him someone with Paul Heyman, he's sort of someone like a Brock Lesnar type now, where he can be like Brock Lesnar's horrible on the mic, but he gets in the ring and he's a badass. People like, oh my god, we want to see him like either get destroyed or if he's like a good guy. It's like, oh my god, he's amazing. Like he's got this like physique and Ryback has got the physique. Yeah, people say he works stiff and he's like, but that'll come over time. Give him more chance, and I think him and Heyman will be absolutely gold together. That's my take. So, anything else anybody wants to touch on from Raw?
Um, I think the
What were
superstars
the?
coming out to. Oh, sorry, Jess.
You can go.
All right, I said I think the superstars coming out to help Daniel Bryan was sort of like what they did with The Rock versus Brock Lesnar, where everyone like came out and like supported The Rock, sort of.
Yeah. Just a thing I've noticed from that though. Did you notice who come out? They were all jobbers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, there was a few.
Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston are jobbers.
Well,
RVD.
Dolph Ziggler
okay,
is a jobber.
let's
RVD.
let's look. Okay, then, but let's look at this. Okay,
There's a lot of jobbers,
Let-
but there's some.
sorry, Jess. What I was going to say is, let's look at this list. Right, R-Truth. What's he done recently? Nothing. What is Dolph Ziggler? What's happened to Dolph Ziggler recently? He's got bad stuff backstage. He's went from being on the world title to not even winning the United States title. Now he's down the road. Look at Kofi Kingston. He's never hit the heights that people said he was going to. You've got the primetime players who have recently turned face and still haven't done anything in WWE. Usos, again, another team that are capable of having good matches, but yeah, do you know what I mean? It's not, you haven't got like the top faces there in the company. Like where?
True.
Yeah, but you can't really fault Kofi Kingston because he's been injured and he's not really gotten the push. And when he was getting ready to get the push, he got injured. And then the same thing with Dolph Ziggler. When he was getting the push, he got his concussion, which put him on the shelf.
And what about
So
Zack Ryder?
Okay, yeah. No,
Oh,
I'm saying
yeah.
there was a few jobbers in there, but not like
Yeah, like
the
Justin
way you made
Gabriel
it
and
sound.
Zack
It was
Ryder.
like
Yeah, but I still think
mean-
they could have had a few more star power in there.
well,
Like
their
Big Show
star
down
star
all the
power
place.
is injured.
True.
Like
Where was Big Show and all them?
He's too busy
Where's
punching out
Sheamus?
Dusty Rhodes.
Which I think was
Or crying backstage.
it was very well done how they did that.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people have credited Dusty Rhodes for a very good promo.
Well, isn't Sheamus injured?
Uh,
Yeah.
Sheamus is injured. Yeah, he's out with an arm injury, I think it is.
Yeah, Sheamus is out. Cena's out. I mean, most of the major face star power is not even here anymore. They're all injured, so they're trying to. They don't really have that much anymore. That's why they're trying to make Daniel Bryan into it.
Build it up. And he's,
Yes, someone to carry the company for 6 months.
And just another quick note, I know it's a really side note, but Brie Bella's turned face. Apparently she teamed up with the Funkadactyls.
Yeah.
Weren't the Bellas all this kind of like, oh my god, like, hope all the divas kill each other kind of thing, and it was like, they didn't like AJ Lee, they didn't like Caitlyn.
They're like tweeners.
Yeah, they were sort of, but they've never been faced for like for a good few years.
Yeah.
They tried to do it at the WrestleMania last year when one went on one side, one went on the other, and then like next week they were back being the arsehole divas that they are. But let's move on. As I say, it's just a quick one this week, so let's move on to SmackDown. I've got the SmackDown results. We have Daniel Bryan and the Usos defeat the Shield. Del Rio versus R-Truth defeated R-Truth. Wyatt family defeated Justin Gabriel and Zack Ryder. Ryback defeated local competitor. I've heard it. That's what it says. Santino Marella.
Yeah, he was a jobber. He was definitely a jobber.
Apparently, he's Ocean Valley Wrestling's champion. Apparently, that's what I was told today. Ryback, as I say, defeated local jobber. Santino Marella, who's on a win streak at the minute. I'm going to come back to him in a minute. Remind me about Santino Marella because I need to tell you something about this. He defeated Jack Swagger and AJ Lee defeated Naomi. So there you go. Anybody want to touch on SmackDown before I make my point?
I'm just going to say my highlight of the whole SmackDown show was the Wyatt family coming out and destroying Justin Gabriel and Zack Ryder.
Yeah, we were talking about that off, like obviously off stream before, but the Wyatt family continue to impress, obviously with their dominance. But the only thing is, they've gone off Raw and they've now been moved to SmackDown, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of takes them down a notch.
Well, it's because they got to move
storyline,
they got to move the tag titles off of the Shield and start letting other teams play with the tag titles.
And also,
That's true.
also, sorry, Joe, just before you get your point in, they also remember there has been rumours going around that they're trying to make SmackDown to be level with Raw. They're going to try and make it become 3 hours. They're trying to make it. They're trying to try and make it so it's like uh, really just up to par with how Raw is.
Huh.
But maybe having the Wyatt family on there is maybe just the start of that. So, Joe, sorry, you were going to say something before we interrupted.
I said this. I was reading a storyline like half an hour ago or something, and it said that the Wyatt family haven't done everything big. Like it's been the same thing with them,
Yeah.
so that's why the popularity has been dropping, which is probably why they've been moved to SmackDown.
And they're on is it main event that they're on a lot as well?
Yeah.
I always see them on one of the smaller shows, which is surprising. Um, just quickly, what I was going to say was about Santino Marella. I was reading on one of the websites today that they had an interview with him, and they said, "What would you like to do? What are your goals?" And he said his goal is he wants to become world champion.
Wow.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think it was a couple of years ago when he was in the Royal Rumble last two.
Oh yeah, the final two
Yeah.
versus is that Alberto?
Yeah, people were going crazy for him then, and then we had the Elimination Chamber when Daniel Bryan was champion. I think it was last year or the year before. I can't remember which one it was now.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
and it was him and Santino left, and Santino almost had him, and the crowd were going crazy. But like, could you really see Santino Marella in the gimmick he's got now? Would you really want to see him as world champion?
No, if
I
anything,
always
they'd
saw
make him champ. He would win it at a pay-per-view, and then the next night on Raw lose it.
Yeah. I always saw him as
That's
like
the only way.
basically if he could become world champion, then I could become world champion because he doesn't have the wrestling skill. I believe that like others do. Like I think, of course, the fans love him, but again, it's just like kind of takes away a little bit from the world title if you give it to Santino.
Maybe Matt, you picked
That's
on
just what I think.
Matt picked on a really good point there though.
Yeah.
What about if he wins it, and then Damien Sandow still needs to cash in?
It's true.
They need what's the point? It's not going. You're not going to get a good reaction of Damien Sandow cashing in on Alberto Del Rio. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be like, yeah, nobody likes
Well,
Alberto Del Rio anyway.
Well, no, they're gearing that for Rob Van Dam. I could see I would rather see Rob Van Dam as the champion over Alberto Del Rio, just because I've seen Alberto be champion for so long. I'm just sick and tired of it. I want something new.
But do you think that
And-
when is
and I-
Sandow
I
going to
know-
cash in though? That's the thing.
RVD's toward the end of his career would be a nice way for him to kind of like finish off being able to be champion toward the end, and
Kind of like a Tommy Dreamer sort of thing.
yeah,
Like when
you
Tommy
know he's
Dreamer
not
won
gonna-
the ECW title for like the last 4 months of his career.
Yeah, I mean RVD's probably going to be around for another 2 years, maybe 3,
Yeah.
before he's pretty much done and retired.
I can see it, but RVD has put on some good matches recently, but he's old. He's about 46 now or something. If I'm right,
Really?
he is.
Wow.
I'm sure he's mid-40s now.
I just can't get into a match with RVD in it. It's like the same old RVD, and it's not as entertaining as it used to be. To me.
It's fair. Everyone has their own opinion.
Yeah, let's quickly just run over a few more things from SmackDown. Daniel Bryan and the Usos. I think they're building the Usos to really challenge the Shield again.
Yeah,
good.
they were saying they were number 1 contenders for their title.
Yeah, I think was it Joe? Did they say that the Usos not win a tournament or something like a triple threat match or something like that on Raw?
I think
They
they-
did win a match
I
on
don't-
Monday.
I'll check right now.
I think they won a number 1 contenders match on Monday or something.
Right. Oh well.
The Usos defeated Tons of Funk and the Real American. Yeah, they become number 1 contenders.
Yeah, because the match they had on the pre-show for a couple of months ago was really good. I really thought they were going to win. It was a really good, well done match. But is it time for the Shield to lose the titles? Do you think they should hold on to it a bit more, or?
I heard that was it everyone wanted Seth Rollins just to go, was it face
Yeah.
and start moving up there. That's what everyone, a few people I've talked to have wanted.
He was very good in NXT as the champion, like a face champion. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see. The rumors are that the Shield are going to break up towards after WrestleMania next year, or they're going to build up to a match between Seth and Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania. Just quickly pointing on this: if Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose had a match, who would you want to win? Matt Rhodes, we'll start with you.
Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose, Jess,
Seth Rollins.
and Joe.
Seth Rollins.
There you go. So you go. I'm going to say Dean Ambrose, so we're 2 for 2.
Oh.
Sorry, guys.
We'll leave it up to the chat to decide for themselves.
Yeah, indeed. We're going to put this on YouTube as well, just to see how it goes. So if you want to leave anything in the comments about what we talked about last week's results and how you think the wrestling, anything you wanted us to talk about in future shows, just leave a comment. Obviously, would love to hear what everybody says again, and we'll try and get some questions. If you've got questions for us, we'll go through them and we'll debate about it. And obviously, we'll see how it goes over the coming weeks. Obviously, we'll try and make this podcast last a little bit longer as weeks go by, and we'll just, as I say, this is really just a test to see how everyone thinks this is going this week. So there you go. Let's move on to TNA Impact Wrestling. So let's go to Jess, who has the results.
Alright, so the night started off with a Magnus interview backstage where he put over AJ Styles after Magnus lost the Bound for Glory series match. Then he was attacked by the Ego, which is Kaz, Christopher Daniels, and Bobby Roode. He went out after the intro and the recap. He went out to the ring to challenge them, and they all came 3-on-1 and beat him up for a bit until Sting and Samoa Joe came out, challenged them to a match later on, which they ended up losing because of what was it? I think Magnus got hit in the back of the head with a baseball bat.
Oh, nice.
By Bobby Roode. I think that was what happened.
He was protecting Sting from getting hit.
Yeah.
And he got hit with the baseball bat instead.
Manic challenges Jeff Hardy. It's not for any title, it's just like because I guess Manic's always looked up to Jeff Hardy. He requested the match. Jeff Hardy won. I liked the match personally. That's just not because I'm a big Manic Suicide fan, but I really did like the match. And then Chris Sabin came in and he did a heel turn right there.
Cool.
After that was the Knockout Championship match with Mickie James losing the title to ODB because Mickie James is on actually, I think her contract's out, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, her contract's done. Then Robbie E comes out. Robbie E and whoever his jobber buddy is, they come out and try to ruin it with after
Sorensen?
Eric.
No.
Yeah, something
Not
like that.
Jesse.
Eric. No, it's like Jesse something or other. He's a great name, but he's not that good. But he comes. They come out to confront ODB, Eric Young, and Joseph Park. And Robbie E goes on to challenge Joseph Park, but since he's in a suit, Eric Young instead challenges him, gets a quick little roll up, wins the match, and then Joseph Park gets mad. I forget. I think he was like getting called names or something. He came in and got a quick roll up, and then after the match, they got attacked, and then I think Joseph Park drew blood, so he kind of like Blackpool slammed everyone.
Like he's Abyss kind of thing.
Yeah, and then Bully Ray, the Aces and Eights, go and cut a promo in the ring where he says that he thanks basically nobody except for Brooke for the win last week against Ken Anderson, and then everybody else in the Aces and Eights gets all mad because they did more work than she did, and Bully wasn't giving them the credit. So Bully leaves the ring while everyone's kind of just like staring down at him like, what's wrong with you? So that's going to be set up for something in the future. Chavo and Hernandez come to the ring, but Chavo can't fight, so it's changed from a tag team match to Hernandez versus Gunner, which I also liked that match. I thought that was a great match. But Supermex lost, and Gunner won. And then it goes to the 6-man tag match I was said earlier, and then the main event technically was AJ confronting Dixie Carter, where Dixie Carter did her heel turn and basically shut down the show while AJ Styles was trying to say what she did wrong.
There you go. Did anyone? Thanks for Jess for that. But did anyone else think that we were actually at the show? That's in depth. That Jess is your TNA reporter, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. I love TNA.
Big ups for Jess for that detailed report. Let's just as I say, always point on a few things. Obviously, we'll start with the main talking point, which is not ODB winning the Knockouts title, but AJ Styles, and I called him AJ Lee again. AJ Styles.
AJZ.
Yeah, AJ. Oh, there you go. I had to get his name in, didn't you? AJ Styles having a rant, and then a shocking heel turn by Dixie Carter. Jess, you can start.
It's horrible.
Jess, what do you think of that, Jess?
I mean, AJ come out. He said some things that I know. Basically, everyone who's watched TNA since I know I started watching it in 2007, but anyone watching it since 2002 has definitely thought that Dixie's basically ruining the show by bringing in MMA superstars for a couple weeks and signing Hulk Hogan and stuff like that, and people that just really aren't good wrestlers, and getting rid of like the X Division originals like Low Key, P.D. Williams, I believe he said. There's a lot of names that I remember watching when I was a kid that was really they were really good, and I think they're trying to rebuild TNA in a way by making AJ Styles into like the whole kind of like what CM Punk did a few years ago, which is I'm going to take your title, go back to Ring of Honor, and I'll watch you guys die off yourselves.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
There's a few things with TNA. A lot of things have been. I know a lot of people blame Hulk Hogan and Bischoff, but they tried to make it too much where they tried to compete with WWE. It just seems like it's another kind of. They're trying to get AJ Styles. This has happened to AJ Styles so many times in TNA, where they've just went to it, and I know he's said this, but they've went back to him. He's the champion. It's never clicked. It's like he's the phenomenal one. He was in Fortune. It's like every time they've done it, it just doesn't seem to have clicked at all, and it just seems like I'm trying to think like if you get people in from WWE that have obviously been released, they're the second, and people are going, yeah, they shouldn't have it, but why not? They're the second company, the second biggest company in the United States, well, in the world. So if people like Jeff Hardy, Miss Anderson get released, why shouldn't they go to TNA?
I don't know. I'm not saying that. It's like no, because like Team 3D, Bubba and Devon, they came from WWE. Jeff Hardy came from WWE back 2005.
Yeah. Ron Killings, R-Truth.
Yeah, R-Truth. Well, he was K-Quick back in 2001, but yeah, he came back in as R-Truth Killings. New Age Outlaws came there for a long time.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of them.
Kurt Angle left.
Kurt Angle and went to TNA.
Yeah, and he thrived there.
Christian?
Like, he was the main guy. Christian was better there than I think he was in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely Tomko was with him.
It's because he was a big fish in a small pond.
No, I think Christian did a lot better in TNA than he did in his previous run of WWE. I think he went to TNA.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He did good in TNA because he was a big fish in a small pond. When he came to WWE, he was a big fish in a great, vast world of WWE.
Water.
Yeah, I mean, he was in TNA. He could thrive and he could be great because he was a well-known name and he was big star in this small little promotion. Where when he comes to WWE, he's just pushed aside with the Kofi Kingstons and the Dolph Zigglers.
Joe, do you have anything on this?
I think that Christian thrived in TNA is because Edge wasn't there. Because Edge was always like standing over him, and Christian's like the little brother, which doesn't get like a big chance.
Yeah, I sort of.
So there he got the chance.
Sort of the Owen Hart kind of thing back in the late '90s. early 90s, when he challenged Brett, he never got the title, never ever got the title. And I think it would have been the same with Christian and Edge. Edge had the title, Christian challenged, he would never have won it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said Christian got the title because of Edge retiring, because obviously Edge retired, and then they had a match with Del Rio, which Christian won, and then obviously he lost the belt like 2 days later or something to Randy Orton. But do you know what this is, like the sympathy vote kind of thing?
Yeah.
I'd have to say in ring Christian is a much better wrestler than Edge.
Yeah.
On the mic skills, Edge is better than Christian.
Yes.
Looks,
Yeah.
Edge is better than Christian. That's why Edge succeeded more in WWE than Christian.
But how many people, if you say who's your favorite, Edge or Christian, many people, I would say about 95% would go Edge.
I'd go maybe 80.
Okay.
80%.
Yeah, I'd say
would probably pick Edge.
75, 70, somewhere around there.
Over under.
I agree with 80.
Because to me, I'm neither fan of either one of them, but I hate Edge more because I was more of a Matt Hardy fan at the time of when Matt Hardy and the Lita thing happened.
Yeah, and I was more of a John
So I
Cena
sided
fan
with
back
Matt
in
Hardy in
05.
that whole situation of Edge pretty much going behind his back and doing him dirty by going after his girlfriend when he was injured at home and they were on the road. That's why I hated Edge forever, and I will always hate Edge probably for that.
I agree with that. Just going back, obviously I think we've gone a little bit off topic.
We have kind of gone a lot.
Stick with this week. A lot of rumours going around that the main event Mafia are going to split up, because obviously Ace and Ace are splitting up, so main event Mafia are going to split up. And the sort of thing going round, it's going to be Magnus versus Sting. What do people think about that?
Really?
Anybody?
I don't know, I'm
Do a
a
lot
big
to
fan of
help.
Magnus.
Yeah, it could do a lot to help Magnus' career.
Who would you
Yeah.
would you like to see Magnus go heel again though? After really he's just turned face, I would say in the last this year he's really turned into like a face, and more because he's been more like he tried. I think he tried face with Samoa Joe when they were a tag team, and they sort of went their separate ways quite quickly. Now they've come back as another face. Would you really want them to see Magnus go off? Because Magnus is if TNA stay around, Magnus is going to be their like guy kind of thing for quite a number of years if he stays healthy.
Oh yeah, he's going to be the next big thing.
So do you think that they should turn him heel, or do you think they should keep him face?
I think they should do
because you
it
got enough heels in there right now.
face.
Joe?
They could do like a thing where.
Face.
Oh, sorry, Joe.
No, sorry, Jess. Sorry for cutting you off. I was just trying to get Joe into it. But
I was gonna say it could be like kind of like a mentor thing where Sting's like the mentor of Magnus, and Magnus beats him. Joe and Sting's like, "Yeah, you're the next thing."
because Sting can't challenge for the world title anymore. Remember that.
Yeah.
See how long that lasts. But I think TNA, a few things. Obviously, we're talking about Mickie James. Mickie James has now left the company as well. She's not re-signing.
Anderson's very close to not re-signing.
Yeah, apparently a lot of rumours going around that Anderson and Mickie James have had contact with WWE. It'd be very interesting.
And Hogan.
Yeah, well, there you go. Let's keep him out of this for a little bit.
Sorry.
Mr. Anderson's 39, I think he is now. He obviously left WWE because of what happened with Randy Orton. Do you think WWE would take Mr. Anderson? I think they might be interested in Mickie James, but I don't think they'll be interested in Mr. Anderson. What do Joe think? We'll start with Joe.
I think they'll probably put him in a lower show, like maybe main event or superstars, to try to get him there, and then probably get him to do like the United States title like before.
Okay. Jess?
I don't know. I feel like he could go back, but he just wouldn't be used. But I feel like there's a lot better, like alternate people to bring back.
Mhm.
Like I would prefer like Shelton Benjamin. Like if I was in WWE, I'd take like Shelton Benjamin over him.
Yeah.
But like, again, I feel like Joe is. I couldn't see. I'd hate to see Ken Anderson just come back and be used as basically what RVD was used as for when he came back, which was a placeholder for the U.S. title.
Okay. And what about Mickie James? What do you think? Do you think she would come back?
She could. I could see that more than Anderson.
Okay. And but Matt.
Yeah, but I'd definitely like to see Mickie James come back. I think her and Natalya could have some good matches, and even AJ Lee. And as far as Mr. Anderson, yeah, I'd love to see the asshole come back into WWE.
But obviously they'll not be able to use the arsehole gimmick, honestly, because obviously the PG, and I think he'll just do his mic. Do you not think he'll come back do his mic thing again, and everyone will be like,
Mr. Kennedy.
yeah, Mr. Oh yeah, they'll
Anderson.
bring him back as Mr. Kennedy, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I did like that gimmick. I'm not going to lie.
Ken Kennedy?
Yeah, I did like the whole microphone thing. But when they turned him face, it was like, no, it's not the same. You've got to keep him. You've
Yeah.
got to keep him heel.
Or at least a tweener.
Yeah. Final.
I'd like to see Ken Kennedy or Ken Anderson, whichever you want to go call him by. I'd like to see him come back and have a match with CM Punk. I
That'd
think
be
those
good.
two could really put on a good match.
Okay. Cool. Let's quickly move on because we're slowly running out of time. What about the last thing? Obviously, we've just picked on ODB winning the title. What do you think about ODB winning the title? Do you think it's yeah, she's been there a while, she deserves it? Would you have liked to seen someone like Gail Kim, or do you think it's sort of like what do you think of this decision to make ODB the champion? Matt, sorry, we'll start with Matt.
I don't. It's all right. I mean, their women's division is kind of like petered off. I mean, they at one point had a great women's division, and now like they just seem to be losing people. Like, whereas Angelina Love and Velvet Sky is now managing with Chris Sabin. I mean, basically all you had was Mickey James, ODB, or Gail Kim that was still wrestling.
Wasn't it Tyler? What was it? Not Tyler. What's her name? She was in WWE and then she moved across. She used to be Tiffany, I think her name was.
Oh, Taryn Terrell or whatever?
Yes, that's it.
I forget what
I haven't
she
seen her on the show.
She had a great
Yeah.
ladder match with Gail Kim a while back. But
Yeah.
there you go.
But like I was saying, at one point they had a good group of female wrestlers that could really go in the ring. But recently, I have not seen it. I see 3 different females every week.
Yeah, that's what I felt too.
Cool.
So I mean, who are you gonna put it on? Gail Kim, who's already had the title multiple times. ODB, who I think has only had it maybe 1 or 2 times.
Yeah,
Or
I agree. I totally agree.
It's
So
tough.
we're gonna end this one on one final question, and this is the question of the week. And despite this being the first one, I'm gonna pick it. So there you go.
I want to actually mention something. I want to
sorry,
know where's Matt Morgan and where's Crimson? 2 great talents that TNA had that they kind of just
They
pushed
released.
to the side when Hogan came in.
They released them.
They need to bring them back. Those 2 were great talents that they could have done such great shows with.
Wasn't Crimson the one that
Yeah.
had the unbeaten run?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was away for a year, came back and lost to Joseph Park, then got released. That's the tale of Crimson.
That's stupid. Yeah, I think I touched on this. Was it? I don't even think we were doing this podcast back then. I think it was just like me talking earlier, telling you guys. I feel like I don't know if your question was about this,
Mhm.
but like, is it about Hulk Hogan or no?
No.
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 No, it wasn't.
No.
Okay,
no, I'm basically
well, it was
talking
just
about like just great talent that they've let go and that
Oh yeah,
they should
I'm
just
saying,
still
like, you
have.
get-
And
you let go of Hulk Hogan. That takes off a bunch of budget
Yes.
that you're spending on someone who all he does is talk and is not really. I mean, people just aren't having him anymore. Like at first it was cool, it's like, oh yeah, Hulk Hogan's in TNA, but now it's like, really, because the show isn't that good anymore.
But he
Like
still
I'd rather
gets
see
they
Hulk
didn't-
Hogan gone.
he gets the biggest pops on the show though.
But see, my biggest problem with the Hogan being the GM thing is they let him stay Hulk Hogan. They did not say, okay, well, you're the GM now. You have to dress the part. You need to go out there in a suit and tie, and you need to play the part of being the GM. You can't go out
Yeah.
there with a bandana and your ripped T-shirt and go out there and rip your T-shirt in the ring and your pair of jeans and shoes. You need
It
to look
just
the
feels
part of
like-
being a GM.
And he's also 60 odd now. Really? Do you really want to be watching that on TV?
But I mean, he could have been a good GM if they would have dressed him in the part. If he would have like took some of the jackets that Jimmy Hart used to wear
But-
that had the Hogan logos all over it, he could have still done that, but dressed the part, dressed like you're a manager,
Yeah.
not like you're.
There were still rumours even a few months ago saying Hulk Hogan was going to win the world title.
Yeah, I
he
remember
can't
that
wrestle
when
anymore after his back surgery.
Yeah.
yeah.
So could you imagine that would be the end of TNA if he won that world title?
Yeah.
You would just you may as well just shut the door. Dixie Carter may as well just shut the doors and say good night.
It'll be
Yeah,
like the
like,
WCW thing with David Arquette.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's just ridiculous. It's just they should build it up, but they don't. Anyway, I'm going to get on to my question of the week. As I said, as we haven't had a question of the week, I'm making it up on the spot. So here we go. You have to pick one guy from TNA to move them across to WWE. It's sort of a draft. And one guy you can move across from WWE across to TNA. Now, obviously, you can't pick John Cena or anyone like that because that's ridiculous. But obviously, from TNA, you can pick anyone from TNA. Who would you think from TNA would make the biggest impact, pardon the pun, on in WWE? And who would you think from the WWE crop would you make a good would go across to TNA? Let me start it off because I'll tell you how I feel. From WWE, who I would love to see Kofi Kingston go to TNA and win the world title. I think that would boost them because Kofi Kingston is a brilliant athlete. If you've seen him in Royal Rumbles, the stuff he does in Royal Rumbles, if he could do that to TNA, imagine the matches he could have with Austin Aries, AJ Styles, people like that, even Bully Ray. I think that would give TNA that boost. Talking from TNA to WWE is a bit of a harder point, but
Yeah.
But I would say Samoa Joe. That's all I would say. Let's go to Jess. Jess, you can start us off with this one.
Okay. Oh man.
Who would you take from WWE to TNA?
From WWE to TNA. It's tough. I don't know. You're having trouble in the TNA part. I was having trouble in the WWE part.
But do you want to start with the TNA one then? Who would you take from TNA?
Yeah. From TNA.
Yeah. Who would you
I'd
like
probably
to see?
bring either Magnus or Austin Aries, because I could see Austin Aries and CM Punk, kind of like two similar styles clashing off.
I think that would be really good. Actually, I think that would be a very good.
Or
thing.
like Magnus. Yeah, I'm just a big Magnus fan. I don't know who I could make him feud with in WWE. I'd like to see Magnus come over to the big show, I guess.
And
from WWE to go to TNA.
Mhm.
I don't. It's difficult. Can I come back?
Yeah, come back there. We'll go. We'll leave. I'm going to leave Matt Rhodes to last. Sorry, Matt.
All right.
We'll go to Joe. Joe, who would you take from WWE to go to TNA?
I would take Daniel Bryan. I think TNA would do it a lot better with Daniel Bryan. Like they would make him a better superstar and a better person, like to watch.
So you're going to take the top guy? Wow.
Yeah, because he's
no.
kind of boring in WWE.
Daniel Bryan would be more believable as a champion in TNA.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. And who would you take from TNA over to WWE?
I would take I'm looking at the roster right now. Magnus.
Magnus. Okay. We'll leave it at that. We'll come back to Jess last. So we'll go to Matt. Matt, who
Oh
would?
no, I can go now.
Oh, go on then. Go on then. Cut you off so we can leave Matt. Go on then. Who would you take from WWE?
All right, I would. I know Joe might like this, but Evan Bourne.
We haven't. Yeah, rumored to be
I'd
coming
have
back
Evan
very
Bourne.
soon.
I'd have Evan Bourne go back to TNA. Let's see. I feel like I remember RVD had all those like I know he did he had a bunch of drug problems just like Evan Bourne has recently with the marijuana and stuff. I feel like he'd be able to like more tolerated over there, so he could perform more.
Yeah, and
But just like how RVD was tolerated, like when him and Sabu were over there.
he does.
And then
he
on
does
top
have
of
a new
that,
thing.
he'd have great matches.
He also does have a new look as well. He's more ripped, as they would say now. So
Yeah, he'd be great. He'd be great to try to rebuild the X division. So I remember back in 2000, early TNA, he was there as Matt Sydal, and he was great.
there you go. Let's move this along.
So-
Joe, it's up to you, Matt. Who would you take from WWE to TNA?
Who I would send from WWE to TNA, I would do Dolph Ziggler,
Dolph Ziggler. Wow. There you go. Dolph
because
Ziggler.
I think he'd be able to flourish better in TNA because he's more of the smaller athlete and they cater more to a smaller athlete.
Cool. And who would you take from TNA over to WWE?
And I'd have to do the phenomenal AJ Styles just because I think he'd have great matches with Daniel Bryan CM Punk, Kofi Kingston, Justin Gabriel, pretty much anybody in WWE he'd probably have a good match with.
Cool. Great stuff. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up there for the first week. This has been a Non-Stop Sports wrestling podcast. I think it's been really well. I think it's a good show. Obviously, it's our first time, so we're going to, obviously, it's going to, over the weeks coming up, we're going to obviously not talk, we obviously talk over a few times, but obviously, as we're new, it's always going to happen. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, we are going to try and do this live on a Sunday on our Twitch TV channel. Links will be in the description. If you're on Twitch, thanks very much for being here and sticking by us. We will try and get interacted more with the chat as the weeks go on. Make sure you drop us a comment and questions in the comment box. Even if you want to do it on our Twitter as well, we'll be there as well. We'll take the questions and we'll give it to the guys. I'll write the questions down through the week. And what we'll do is we could do this for half an hour to an hour each week and then just basically talk wrestling and just see what we think. We don't have to usually go through the results. We can talk about other things like news and everything going through the past. So it's been brilliant, good first show. Joe, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Matt Rhoads, say goodbye.
Later on, folks.
And Jess, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay, remember, guys, I will also put links to the descriptions for everybody else if they have YouTube. So just so we can have a shameless plug, do look on YouTube as well for that. From me at the Mundo, thanks very much for listening, and we will see you next week.